Hey, everybody. How's it going? It is Sunday night. That means it's time for the podcast is RealLY Live. We are here with the podcast is real, about to do our show. Sorry, I got that right on the hit there. And with me, as always, talking to his friend in the back there again, Richard.
Richard. Hey,
is Utah. Welcome to the show. And there's Aaliyah as well.
Fellow programs.
Hi.
How are you guys doing this week, Utah? Wait, do I see? What color is your? Do you have a new ukulele?
Oh, this is okay. So yes, this is a fairly new ukulele. It's a red polycarbonate ukulele. Gifted. I got this as a gift for helping out an online group put together a bunch of ukulele collaborations. So, I get 25 or 30 video submissions of one song, and I sync them all up, and then it's like we're all playing together.
That's awesome. Do you put them on YouTube or something? Where can we watch those?
Oh, you know what? You could I will post them. I haven't posted.
Is it just for your friends right now? It's just private?
They're on the group, but we just recently got permission from everybody that we can post them publicly because everybody wanted to share them. So I'll put them up on my YouTube channel, Utah and the Uke, and you can see them there.
Awesome. Aaliyah, what do you got? What's been going on this week? I haven't seen you since Thursday.
Who are you?
But I thought about it. Who am I?
Wow, that's really deep. Let's not get into that tonight. That could be.
We'll be here for hours. All right. Working. That's it. Just working. Mm-hmm. Nothing very exciting. I did watch a new show or new series.
What's show?
It's called Behind Her Eyes. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Behind Her Eyes. What's that about?
Yes, Behind Her Eyes. So
basically, nerve. No,
it is slightly suspenseful, and I appreciated it. Normally, I do not like horror movies. I originally thought it was going to be like a romantic comedy or something along those lines. But then once I started watching it, I was like, this is not what I anticipated at all. And then I was hooked. I couldn't stop watching it.
What a bait and switch.
It was. And the cover image or cover art was like a picture of, it was like a couple. And I was like, oh, okay. Whatever. This looks like a romantic movie. And then days later, they switched the cover. And I realized that it was not romantic.
That's like going to the bookstore and going, oh, check out this romantic novel with Fabio on the cover, and then you open it up and it's Stephen King.
All right. Now, I would read that in a heartbeat. Anything
right,
with
a Stephen King story with Fabio in
it? If Stephen King wrote a Harlequin romance, I would totally read it. He is
a Harlequin romance.
You know what though? He already writes these pulp stories for this series. In fact, he's got a new one coming out on Tuesday. It's pre-ordered for me. I think it's called Later, but it's part of this pulp series, and the books are in this old. They look like they were published in the 70s. It's really cool, really cool style, and he's done a couple of those. And so why not? Harlequin romance from Stephen King would be next. I would read. I don't care what Stephen King writes. I read it. It's pretty much. He's pretty much my favorite author. So I pre-order everything. When it gets here, I don't read it for a while. It takes me forever to get. I have stacks of books, but
it's on the shelf.
But I've got If It Bleeds. That was the last one that I got, I think, from him. But that's coming out too. So there's some pop culture news that we just shared. It's not part of the top 3, but check it out. Stephen King's got a new book, drops on March 2nd or 3rd, but it's this week, so it's very exciting. Very excited. Nice. I watched a new show this week also. We decided to start Clarice, which is on CBS. If you don't have we're watching on CBS All Access because I also switched our cable to T-Vision from T-Mobile. Ding, ding. I'm going to start getting cash registers down. Every time I drop a brand name, we're going to hit that. And hopefully at some point they'll come in and say, hey, we're going to sponsor this show.
We can at least pretend.
Right. So the, anyway, T-Vision is from T-Mobile, which is my cellular provider. And I decided to try. YouTube raised their prices like twice on me when I was with them. That jumped up to almost $70 now from them. And T-Vision's at 50, and I get like all the channels I want and more except CBS. CBS is like, we're going to put all of our stuff on our own app, and that's what you have to get. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. So
well, and then CBS is becoming Paramount Plus. What, next week?
Yep, next week. So anyway, Clarice is on this channel, and it something happened, and it was kind of funny. So if you've seen Silence of the Lambs, you know that Jodie Foster played Clarice Starling, and it's based on a Thomas Harris book. By the way, the book is awesome. The sequels to the movie, but the books were kind of okay. But Silence of the Lambs itself and Red Dragon, the original, those are really good books. Well, Jodie Foster played somebody from West Virginia. Now, if you don't know, I'm from West Virginia, and so is Aaliyah. Different areas, but we both kind of have that West Virginia connection. And so the first time I saw Jodie Foster in that movie, her accent was not really something I recognized. And I don't still have a West Virginia accent. It's been, I haven't lived there in a long time, but it didn't sound like anybody I knew from West Virginia. So I was kind of like, okay, whatever. And you forgive it because, dang, it's a good movie, right? And Jodie Foster is so good in it, and so is Anthony Hopkins. You don't even care that her accent might be a little off. Well, now we've got this new show, Clarice. And where did you found out where the actress is? What's her name? The actress who plays Clarice now.
Her name's Rebecca Breed.
Yeah.
And she is from Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, which is typical, right? The Brits and the Aussies coming in and taking jobs from good American actors. Can you believe it? No,
they can do American accents.
Well, what's great is they can do American accents better than we can do British or Australian accents.
Easily.
That is
So, like when you see American actors over there doing those, it's like I don't know that but it doesn't quite work.
It's like that SNL skit from last week where...
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. I finally watched that.
Where Ice Cube is actually trying to be British.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was pretty funny.
Coldy Squares.
Yeah, so funny. All right. But yeah, so they do terrible accents. But anyway, so she's from Australia, and she's doing kind of Jodie Foster's accent because this is really supposed to have been spun off from the movie. It literally takes up like a year after she's killed Buffalo Bill. She's still living with that. She has some PTSD, stuff like that. Show is actually really good so far. I'm loving it. Like I'm two episodes in. I really enjoy it. However, there's something that happened.
And this happened.
Well, no, it's not a big deal. I still love the show. It's just these kind of things happen sometimes. And I'm wondering if other people out there have experienced this in other shows. So if you're from somewhere and someone in a TV show or a movie is also supposed to be from that place, you expect certain things, right? Well, for example, if you're from, Yorkshire and you see somebody from America playing somebody who's supposed to be from Yorkshire, they should pronounce things the right way.
From Yorkshire.
They should use the right dialect. You expect it to sound, or at least they're going to pronounce it correctly.
I think I'll take the elevator.
Yeah. Well, when I watched this one, so Clarice did this, and again, I like the show, so this is not a knock. As much as it is, I thought it was kind of funny, and I even put it on Twitter. I recorded it because I was like, "What?" So if you take a look at the subtitles here, she says, "I grew up in Kanawha County." Now that could be hard to pronounce, right? What is that? Right? If you're not from there, you might not know how to pronounce that. I totally get that. In fact, if you're from Australia, you probably definitely don't know how to pronounce it. But her character is literally saying she grew up there. Like this was her hometown for her childhood until she gets sent away. Like if you know the whole Clarice story, she gets sent away to an orphanage after her son or her dad is killed in the line of duty. Anyway, so there's all that, but she's saying she's from this county, and this is what she says. See if we can take a listen here. All right. So I'm going to play it one more time. Pretty sure she says Kenwa there.
Yeah, Kenwa or Kenawa. Yeah.
Kenwa. Yeah, there might be an extra. There's definitely an extra syllable in the word.
Right.
So I don't know if she's saying it Kenwa or if she's saying Kenwa, But if you're from Kanawha County, West Virginia,
You just said it.
you
It
know
is.
it's pronounced Kanawha. It's Kanawha County, West Virginia. And I just thought that was so hilarious. And of course I picked up on it because I'm from there. I'm not from Kanawha County. I'm from Cabell County, but I'm down
spell that?
in that Cabell, not Cabell,
Not Cabell.
which people do say,
Cabelli?
but Cabell, right?
Cabaret?
Yeah, I don't. It's funny because there's just it's one of those things. Here, this is a great comment from Brian. It's Quinoa
yes,
County.
It's Quinoa County. That's where
Absolutely,
it's from.
I think you might be right, Brian. Yeah, that's where they get the word. It was invented in West Virginia in this county.
They actually have quinoa crops.
Yeah.
It's the major crop in quinoa
I just
County.
thought that was funny. Now, it didn't make me mad or anything, and hopefully people from Kanawha County wouldn't be mad about it. But it is one of those things that it's like, well, if you're writing a show and you're putting this person's entire backstory in a place, and she's about to tell you that that's where she grew up, maybe she should pronounce it right. And that's not even the writer's fault, right? Like maybe she should have looked it up. Like, and you come across that word Kanawha. Again, unless you're from there, wouldn't you immediately go, I wonder what that says, and look it up? Like if you go to Wikipedia, Kanawha County, it shows you how to
Shows the
say it.
pronunciation?
Yeah. So I was just kind of surprised. Again, no offense to what was her name again? I already forgot.
As we said earlier, Rebecca Breed. Like we were saying earlier, I would have said Kanawha.
Yeah. Kanawha County?
Is it Kanawha?
Yeah.
But it's just like, Jeff, you and I know this,
Sure.
but anyone not from West Virginia or the area that we lived in, because I did live in Cabell County, it's hurricane.
Yeah.
Not
There's
hurricane.
Hurricane. Hurricane, West Virginia. It's hurricane. That's how you pronounce it. Well, I lived in Massachusetts for my entire 7th grade year in a little town called Norwood, Mass. Now it's spelled Norwood, and they're saying Norwood. They're just saying it like Bostonians.
In Boston accent.
Yeah, Norwood. I lived in Norwood, Mass. But down the road from me was a city called Worcester, like the sauce. Or no, that's Worcestershire
that's
sauce.
Worcestershire.
But similarly spelled. So
Worcestershire sauce. Listen to you.
WORC. See, I don't claim to be from there. That's my out. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's okay for me to mispronounce it because I don't claim to be from there. But in Massachusetts, they pronounce WORCESTER, Worcester.
Right. It's not Worcester. Right.
Worcester. And we have a Worcester in Ohio, but it's actually spelled correctly. WOOSTER.
Wait. Oh, you mean Worcester?
We're not messing around here. We're like, no, we're not using all those weird letters. It's WOOSTER.
No. We're just going to spell it like we sounded.
Too funny. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, I love when, I like it when shows do that little bit of research and there's a little bit of,
It shows that attention to detail.
You're only going to notice if you're from there. Who cares? And I don't care. It's a good show. I'm not complaining about it. I just think it's funny. And it's just one of those things where, again, if you're playing a person who's literally claiming your history started in this place and you lived there most of your childhood, maybe you'd know how to pronounce it. Like, look it up. Like, I don't know. Sorry.
I don't know.
I'd like to get her on the show, so I don't want to upset her. She's fantastic. She's great as Clarice. I love the show. It's, so it's just me.
I think I live in Broke Park.
Broke
Park?
Well, that's what they call it, Broke Park. Yeah, that's what they do. I mean,
that's not how it's spelled, but they do. It does kind of have a reputation. Too funny.
Well, that's all right. I live on. Depending on who you talk to, there's Yorkshire, or is it Yorkshire Road? Yorkshire Road? Yorkshire Road?
Right.
Berkshire Road? Berkshire Road?
See? We don't know where we live.
Right.
I just wish I lived on the street, because there's a street down in Little Italy here in Cleveland, and the actual street name is Random Street.
That's the best.
So
well, down in Columbus. Well, you remember when we were roommates down in Columbus at Fox, what was it called?
Fox and Hound?
Fox and Hound Inn or whatever.
Yeah.
Apartments. Down the road was Go Down Road.
Yeah, Go
remember
Down
that?
Road. Yep.
And I was like, we would always have like that Abbott and Costello. Which road should I go down? Go down. Go down which road? Go down. What road do you want me to go down? Go down road. I will go down the road if you tell me. Yeah.
Just
so
tell me where
Sorry, we don't gonna. That's too much. That went on way too long. All right, so let's move on. I do want to point out something. If you tuned in to our game night 2 weeks ago, we played a little TKO, which is a Jackbox game where we design T-shirts, and we found out at the end that you could design, or you could actually purchase the T-shirts that people drew during the show. Well, I am actually currently wearing the winning T-shirt.
Foo-hearted.
Let's go to, for those of you who are watching online and not listening to this after the fact, I'll go to full screen so you can see it.
Foo-hearted.
There it is. Yeah.
The game
Foo-hearted. It's a gentleman bending over with a little poot coming out. And I'm describing it for our audio listeners on the podcast. And it says Foo, F-O-O, hearted instead of obviously the other.
That would be a poot.
A poot.
P-O-T.
But anyway, yeah, kind of fun. If you aren't watching our game nights on Thursday, you should. It's a lot of fun. We do some Jackbox games. We draw terribly.
Wouldn't that be a foot? P-H-O-O-T would be a foot?
Foot-hearted? I don't know. Anyway.
If you like
this, you can't get it. It's a one of a kind. I'm the only one who has this T-shirt. But you can get other merch at our Merch Gone Geek at our website there at TeePublic. I'm still the only one on the screen. TeePublic. I just like looking at myself. tpublic.com/stores/world-gone-geek. I did put all those dashes in there. They could help me out by just making that World Gone Geek, couldn't they? Anyway, that's where all of our merch is found. You can find World Gone Geek t-shirts there. You can find our Globy McGlobeface character, which you haven't really seen a lot of. We haven't used him a lot. He's in a couple of cover images, but you guys haven't really met Globy McGlobeface. I think he's on
sabbatical, isn't he?
I don't know. But you can get some shirts. You can get shirts from our new show. We're going back, which is coming soon, and fun stuff like that. So check out our merch page there. It's at the bottom. It's ticking along at the bottom for you there. All right. The last thing I do want to say though, we've only got a couple more weeks before I shave my head for St. Baldrick's, which is a great organization that is trying to conquer pediatric cancer. So they fund pediatric cancer research all over the world. And it's, my daughter went through chemotherapy last year. She is doing great. The reason she's doing great is because there has been research that has found ways to help what she was going through. It's so important. And most of the funding in cancer, everybody thinks, everybody's always raising money for cancer, breast cancer. There's so much cancer. There really is. And so you think that all this funding, even the government funds cancer research. What they don't fund as much is pediatric cancer research. And believe it or not, kids get different cancers and they need different treatment. And the treatments especially are way different for kids than they are for adults. And so it's so important to do this research. And that's why for 10 years now, this is my 10th year, shaving my head every March to raise money for this. So if you find it in your heart to give to the cause, there's the link down below. We'd love for you to do that and join us. We will try to broadcast it live. It's March 13th. So keep an eye out on our Facebook page for more information. And maybe you can watch the head shaving live. It could be fun. All right, cool. Do you guys have anything else that we need to go through?
What's next?
Because unless you guys have something going on, that means you know what it's time for.
What's the time for?
This Week in Geek.
Yeah.
That's right. It's This Week in Geek. And I think we're starting off with you, Aaliyah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
I'm going to play it for you, Leah. You ready?
Yes.
Maybe.
The only child to ever state, "I'll clean my room in exchange for your immortal soul," and actually mean it, is getting her very own series. Yes, Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family is finally getting the screen to herself. Netflix has made the official announcement that it has been placed for an 8-part series entitled Wednesday. Sounds about right. It will be a live-action series focused specifically on Wednesday's time at Nevermore Academy. One of the most exciting aspects about this is the fact that it will be directed by Tim Burton himself. So, of course, we can count on a bit of spooky behavior outside of Wednesday. Unfortunately, no word as of yet has been spoken about cast for the series or any sort of production timeline. So are you guys?
Yeah, we're here.
I was like, what happened?
No, you were talking. I made you the star. You were the one
you. I
talking. So.
appreciate it.
Leah, the Golden Globes are going. You take the rest. Bye.
Yeah, we just put you on. Utah and I, we're watching the red carpet over here.
I was like, well,
Yeah.
so how do you guys feel about it? Are you excited?
I like Tim Burton being involved.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a
Absolutely.
really good matchup for the type of tone that the Addams Family and Wednesday in particular would require to be good, in my opinion. I would love to see Christina Ricci somehow have a cameo. At
Yes,
some point,
please.
because
Please.
I mean, she to me has been the best Wednesday on screen, on film. And really, those two movies, Addams Family and Family Values, were both really, really good in my opinion. I really enjoyed them a lot. So I'm excited. I'm great. I'd love to hear more about Wednesday. I want to know why her name is Wednesday. I find it funny that we're talking about Wednesday on a Sunday, but hey.
So one of the things that I did not mention in that little blurb or bio was that in the show, Wednesday is going to be attempting to master her emerging psychic abilities.
Whoa.
And I'm really
Interesting.
interested. I'm really interested about that. I also read that she will be a teenager in this, but I feel like there's a lot of actors that are older, that play younger characters. So I feel like Christina, yeah, let's be realistic. So I feel like Christina Ricci could still be involved with this,
I think she might be too old to play a teenager.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, she
think
still
she's-
looks great. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong.
Right, but I think
But I
she
mean,
would
like
be-
maybe in some way, you know what I mean?
Oh no, she
Absolutely.
absolutely
has
should
to
be in it.
She has to be in there somewhere.
She could.
somehow.
I think she should be like the headmaster of Nevermore
Yeah,
Academy or something,
right,
or
yes.
That would be
maybe
great.
it's the character that we never see, but she comes in for a cameo at one point. Like somebody that they mention a lot. Or oh gosh,
Oh, we got him excited. Look at him.
what if
what?
what if she's Morticia?
Oh wow, that would be right because if this show is about Wednesday, the rest of the family have to show up at some point. Right?
Maybe. Right? I mean, they don't
Maybe
have
just-
to, but they
Well,
could.
then- but I mean, it would
Just
make
drop her
sense.
off, right? Like if they're
Right. Dropping her off in the lurch mobile and the lurch driving they're waving at her.
Have Thing wave.
Yeah.
How does Thing wave?
he just shimmies, right?
Does he just kind of jump up and?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm very excited about this. I first of all, Tim Burton. I just love his stuff a lot, and so I want him to direct my autobiography. But no, I'm kidding. It's not like that. But
He's not kidding. But anyway.
but I just no. Actually, there's a couple other directors. You know what? That'll be a good show topic one day. Who do you want to direct your autobiography? But no, I love Tim Burton. I love his style. I love everything, almost everything that he's done. It's just, this has been a long time coming. Like, this is like, why hasn't Tim Burton been involved with the
anything
Addams Family
right.
until now? Like, why is this just now happening?
Right.
Like, we just got an animated Addams Family movie. Like, why wasn't that the stop motion animation, like
Right,
Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah.
It's directed by Tim Burton. Like that to me
That
would
would've
be
been
amazing,
outstanding.
right? This is a match made in heaven, Tim Burton, and I hope that this is a sign of like more things to come. Like, you know what I mean? That maybe there is a movie. I saw somewhere, and I can't take full credit for wanting Christina Ricci, but it just popped into my head at that moment. Is I think people have actually been kind of like wanting that to happen for some time. I also saw Christina Ricci or Ricci Wednesday, maybe hashtag Ricci Wednesday.
You saw her Wednesday? What?
Some people are now pushing Rami Malek as
Gomez.
as Gomez. He's definitely got the look.
I can see that. Yeah.
He could pull that off, but I don't know. I think it would be interesting. Again, I don't know that they're going to go for like the big hitters for this show,
Right.
especially since it's a Netflix series mostly focused on Wednesday herself. But that casting's got to be good. Like, I mean, Christina Ricci is Wednesday in a lot of people's minds, and so one, you don't want somebody who's just going to like ape everything that she did. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They don't want to just like somebody who does a good impression of Christina Ricci. They want to make it their own, but at the same time, Like that's the Wednesday everybody knows and loves and wants to see.
So when you think sorry, you
No, go ahead.
So this popped into my head. You know, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right? We know the original, and then we had the newer
the dramatic remake.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right.
Do you think that, and this is kind of going off topic, but I'll circle it back. Do you think that she did that Sabrina justice, even though it's like a different context?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
It was, you said it. It was a different context, so it called for a different tone for Sabrina. So I think
Maybe this will too.
Yeah.
That was my point.
What's
Yeah.
Rebecca Breed doing? Maybe she can do a good Wednesday with a West Virginian accent.
How would she pronounce Wednesday though? That's what we have to figure out.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Wait a minute. That syllable doesn't belong in there.
So quickly, since Tim Burton's involved, does that mean Johnny Depp and Elena Bonham Carter will show up somehow?
You would hope. That's
Right?
who I
Because
would like to see as Morticia and
actually-
Gomez, obviously. But with Johnny Depp being in trouble right now, and he's heavily involved in that lawsuit with, and now he's fighting back against Amber Heard. So that's a whole nother mess and a whole nother news story.
Yeah,
But
he needs to lay low.
all right, yeah, good. I can't wait. Good stuff, Leah. We definitely want to see that. All right, you know what that means? It's
Number 2.
that's you,
Number
Utah.
2. Spider-Man. Time to name the next Spider-Man. Has to have the word home. I don't know what else rhymes with home. Oh well. Let's talk about Spider-Man. That's right. Spider-Man 3, the title for Spider-Man 3 was, it was sort of revealed when Tom Holland posted something and said it was Spider-Man Phone Home. Oh, but wait. Then Jacob posted something that said it was Spider-Man Homewrecker. Oh, but wait. And then Zendaya posted something that said it was Spider-Man Home Slice. So what the heck? Next thing you know, people are online talking about maybe it's Spider-Man Home Depot or Spider-Man Home Alone. Or anyways, they finally did the actual reveal. And so the title for the next Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man No Way Home. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? I don't know. Well, it was pretty cool. It was very clever how they did it. It was a nice trolling on the 3 stars part.
That video is funny. The YouTube video.
And that little 30-second reveal video was great about them joking about Tom Holland saying, "Why would he do that?" And they're like, "What do you mean? Why would he do that? I don't spoil anything." Yeah, you did. Like the whole last movie.
Yeah, he comes out of the office. We assume with like
John
Kevin
Watts?
Feige or somebody. John Watts. Yeah,
the director.
I don't. Yeah, it was the director, and he's like, they gave us the fake names, and it's like, why would they do that? And it's like, because they knew you'd spoil it, Tom.
I don't spoil anything.
Yeah, and he was on Fallon, I think, later that night or something, one of those late night shows. And I think that was another reason they did it, because they're like, we better just reveal it because Tom Holland's gonna blow it.
Spill it because he spilled the last one. But that was a great little trailer, and my favorite part of that trailer was at the end. They walked past a whiteboard that was on the wall, and they zoomed in, and on the whiteboard was all of these other names that they had, like Home Sweet Home, Can't Find Home, Close to Home, Stay at Home, Home Worlds, Work from Home, Want to Go Home, No Place Like Home, Home Run, Welcome Home. I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to.
That was good.
It was fun. They had Home Alone, and they had underneath it copyright issues.
Yeah. Well, I think there were a lot of other choices that they could have gone with. I think originally they were talking about doing this, since it was such a, sorry, I'm getting ready to share something. Since, this is all happening during COVID and everything is going on, obviously the first one was Spider-Man Stay at Home. That was what they thought maybe it would be. I mean, the good thing we know is that Peter Parker doesn't have any problem with the mask mandate, right? He loves to do that, but it's difficult to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man when you're not allowed to go out into the neighborhood, right? Mm-hmm. So that had to go.
Well, but with everybody with devices, can't he just zoom to everybody?
He can't save somebody through a Zoom screen, Utah. You know how this works.
Oh. You're right. Sorry, I forgot about that.
But
Scratch that idea off.
But since he was home, Peter Parker was Spider-Man homeschooled for a little while there.
That's right.
But in this next one, I heard. Sorry, I'm doing a bit. You can tell. This is a prepared bit. We have like all these cool graphics. No, I'm making this up on the fly. Here we go. But the other thing is we know that he's in a lot of trouble, right? Like they revealed who he is. They blame him for what happened with Mysterio in the last movie. There's rumors that Matt Murdock is going to be his lawyer, with Stark out of the picture now, he doesn't, have kind of that like gravy wagon or what is that thing? Gravy wagon?
What are
It's a gravy train.
about?
Gravy train. That's
wagon.
from Stark. So there, it's not going to work that he
Wait.
he has to pay for a lawyer. He has to pay Matt Murdock. And so he goes out and gets a job at Burger King. And Spider-Man Home of the Whopper was going to be the title. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I can only tell you what I heard, people.
Yeah, well,
this is what I heard.
Yeah.
I think it was wegotThisCovered.com where I heard that. So I'm just going to say.
Yes. Very credible.
Sorry, that's my pet peeve, that website. Sorry, guys. Anyway. So then they decided, hey, maybe it would be Spider-Man Home Improvement. There, get Tim Allen in there.
Spider-Man would need more power to
to defeat his enemies. Yeah. They also, keeping with that Home Improvement, they were like Spider-Man Extreme Makeover Home Edition. But that was just the screenplay for that one was just May putting up some wallpaper for about an hour and a half, and they're like, "That's not interesting." When does
I'll watch Marissa Tomei put up wallpaper.
Yeah, well, and Spidey is using his web fluid to
instead of wallpaper. Okay, gotcha.
That's how they were sticking the one. They didn't bother with the paste and stuff. It is. It's extreme.
It's extreme.
Makeover Home Edition. It has to be extreme. And then this is a deep pull. Get ready. They also said that there was Andrew Garfield might come back. Tobey Maguire might come back for this, and the three of them together are going to be Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey. It's there's the dogs and the cat. Remember?
Yeah, the dog, the cat, and then
I actually cried. I don't know.
It's basically them wandering through the wilderness, trying to find their way home.
Find their way home.
Yeah, I was actually on board for that one. I thought that would have been a good one.
They could have Simon and Garfunkel song in the soundtrack. It'd be perfect.
Yeah. Well, there's a rumor that Jamie Foxx is back as well as Electro.
I think that's confirmed.
It's confirmed, yeah. Well, he's back as Electro, but he's supposed to be like a different Electro because we all know how bad the last Electro was. And now, again, no fault of Jamie Foxx. It's just like it was a dumb portrayal. It was a dumb way to...
It was a bad
yeah.
business.
And he looked too much like Mr. Freeze. That brought back terrible memories of that movie with...
Hey, just chill.
Yeah, don't start with me. All right. But they thought, hey, with the success of Jamie Foxx, let's dig into that In Living Color well again and find Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans is not busy right now.
Spider-Man homie.
So Spider-Man homie, don't play that. That was what this is a great idea. I don't understand. You know what? Put Jamie Foxx and Damon together. I mean, and you're going to have a great, funny, it's going to be a good one. I don't know. And then you have to get David Allen Greer too, because you can't have those guys.
Those guys without, right.
Yeah.
Homie, oh my gosh, homie would be Spider-Man's Joker.
Right? Right. Spider-Man. Homie, don't play that. Of course, they decided not to do that. But this is one of my personal favorites. I love the movie Happy Gilmore. And so I liked Spider-Man. Are you too good for your home?
Go home.
Go home.
That's your home.
Go to your home. That's like my favorite scene from Happy Gilmore. Are you too good for your home?
Adam Sandler's open for a second one.
I would like to see Adam Sandler, do that in a no, that was a terrible one. But anyway, so finally, I think what I had thought was for sure going to be the title when they cast Tobey Maguire, because he's supposed to play an older, more seasoned Peter, right?
A more seasoned Spider-Man.
A more grizzled. And so I really thought it was Spider-Man Rest Home. That's really what I thought it was. They were going to visit him.
Spider-Man Nursing Home.
Well, we decided not to do that one because Governor Cuomo was going to be like, it was just a whole...
you don't want to deal with that.
We didn't want to... they didn't want to bring that memory back, so we'll just call it Rest Home. And Toby's there. He's playing bingo with, some other older heroes and villains.
Probably villains.
Maybe old Cap. He's playing bingo with old Cap from Endgame. Yeah, so that's how they'll bring old Cap back into the MCU and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so it's that would have been a good one. I don't know. That's just me. I think those were some pretty good titles, but yeah.
I like that. They also had something. They had webcamming on the whiteboard.
Oh gosh.
Keep it PG, and then they said it needs to have the word home in it. But anyway, yeah. So, No Way Home. What does that mean? Do you take that literally? Because spoiler alert, his secret identity was revealed at the end of the last movie, right? So is No Way Home just basically he's a fugitive now and he has no way home, or is it the multiverse? Because everybody's pointing to the multiverse. We know that Doctor Strange is involved. We know that Electro, Jamie Foxx is reprising his role as Electro. Alfred Molina is reprising his role as Doc Ock from the best Spider-Man movie ever. And William Dafoe has been on set. So he's got to be playing Green Goblin, right?
Yeah. Or maybe he's playing Willem the friend.
Maybe he's... Oh, that's true. We don't know if he's a foe or a friend yet.
Yes.
So... This is true. So
no, you're right. I think the multiverse is my guess. I mean, it feels like this whole phase is multiverse.
Whole phase 4 is all about multiverse. Between WandaVision and Doctor Strange setting it up. I mean, yeah, it sounds good to me. I'm there. I've been loving these Spider-Man movies that Marvel's been putting out, and Sony and Marvel have an agreement for this movie plus one more appearance in an MCU film. So we'll get to see Tom Holland as Spider-Man at least once more in another MCU film.
Yeah.
And then after that, they'll just have to argue to agree again.
So if it is multiverse, what would you guys anticipate it being?
If it's multiverse, then I want the rumors of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being involved to be true. Because I don't think you can have a Spider-Man multiverse without having the other Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
And then I would love an introduction of Miles Morales somehow. I mean, he was hinted at, right? His uncle was in the last movie.
So you want Spider-Pig too?
I don't think we're ready. I don't think we're ready for Spider-Pig.
The live action Spider-Pig. We're not ready for that.
We're not ready for that yet. Let's leave that to the Spider-Verse, because the Spider-Verse is the second best Spider-Man movie.
Yes. No, I think, it feels like with Doctor Strange, with WandaVision, with all the everything pointing to the multiverse, and I don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore the idea of Maguire and Garfield and all being Spider-Man at the same time.
I want them pointing at each other like that meme.
Yes, right. Like it has to happen. It has to.
You're the imposter. No.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think I've shared my feelings on all these multiverse type things and the way DC is doing it and all this stuff. Also, it just bothers me that I get that Miles Morales is Spider-Man, right, in this other multiverse, but he's not Peter Parker, right? He's Miles Morales who becomes Spider-Man. Right. So to me, these alternate Peter Parkers that look so completely different has always kind of bugged me. I have kind of gotten rid of that, and the idea that back in the 1800s or 1900s, there were different Parker family relatives that ended up together that changed the DNA in those multiverses, and that's why they look different. So I finally have settled myself with this. I still feel like they should all look like Peter Parker.
They should all look the same.
It's just it's like a head thing. It's just like, wait a minute, if it's just split multiverses, shouldn't they be the same person? Just kind of like, and they did. That's how they did it in Spider-Verse, right? The other, Spider Pig and the robot. I can't remember everybody's name. The robotic and Spider-Man Noir. Those weren't Peter Parkers. Right. They were other Spider-Men and Spider-Women, like Gwen Stacy, right? So they weren't multiple Peter Parkers. And the other Peter Parkers that did exist were the same Peter Parker in each universe. Right. Just different. Like one was blonde and one's, you know what I mean? So that was, I don't know, that felt, it made more sense in my stupid head canon, I guess, but I don't care. I still love the idea of them all being together, right? I think that's awesome.
I would love to see it on screen.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I got to wait till December.
I can't. I guess I'm still surprised it's this year, considering everything.
It's a little nuts, right?
Wow.
So the MCU is Black Widow in May, Shang-Chi in July, Eternals, and I think the Eternals are in October, and then Spidey 3 in December. So we've got four Marvel movies coming this year.
No, I think you forgot one. Isn't oh, I can't think of it.
Superman,
With the wings.
Green Lantern,
No, not with the wings, sir.
With wings.
Hawkman.
Hawkman, this is Utah. You're naming all DC characters. I think you're doing it on purpose.
I am. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes,
comes
thank
Yeah,
you.
That's
well, it's
TV
not a
show.
movie though.
I was talking about
yeah.
movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Oh, yeah. But I am absolutely excited for the finale of WandaVision next week, and then a couple weeks
Gosh.
after that, the
I
beginning
can't
of
wait.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. So yeah,
We may have
absolutely.
to have a bonus episode next week just to decompress from WandaVision.
because there's so
absolutely.
much stuff
Yes.
that's happening.
Yeah, I think maybe we might have to get together on Friday and just record a quick, like, live decompression, or maybe Saturday. We give everybody a chance to watch it. I mean, they don't have to watch it if they know we're going to be spoilers, and you watch it anyway. That's your
We're going
fault.
to talk
right?
about the finale. They're going to be spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah, so awesome. Spider-Man is coming again. I'm very excited.
No Way
And
Home.
that brings us to,
Number 3.
all right, in just about 20 minutes, the Golden Globes are about to start, right? At 8 o'clock. I get excited about the Golden Globes and the Oscars every year. They're really the only two, like, pop culture, cinema, TV awards that I actually kind of like pay attention to and watch. Even though there's lots of other ones and they're perfectly valid. This wasn't like a dismissal of them. I'm just saying, like, these are the ones that kind of draw my attention. And the Golden Globes always kind of drive what's going to happen in the Oscars. And so we're going to have an Oscar show coming in a few weeks. The Oscars got pushed into this
They're
year.
delayed, right?
Yeah, so they made the Oscar eligibility year through the end of February of this year, I think. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. And this is all live, folks. So you get the
hold on.
sneezes and everything.
I sneezed like 10 minutes ago. I apologize.
That's okay. But yeah, that is kind of interesting that the Oscars have done that. Golden Globes, however, have done it. It's still December 31st was the final. I think they mainly did that because so much of theirs is split between TV and movies that they still had plenty of stuff to talk about and nominate. Whereas the Oscars were like, hey, there was like 3 movies that made it into theaters that for eligibility last year. Let's give them a little more time. So a bunch of movies that just came out this year are still eligible for Oscars that we've seen. But let's talk a little bit about the Golden Globes. I'm very excited. There's some really cool stuff. First of all, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are back to host it. That's going to be fun.
Yes.
They're
Hilarious.
always fun together. So I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to see lots of fun people lined up to present. I have no idea if it's going to be like live in front of a huge audience. They're usually like sitting at tables, but I don't know if what they're doing this time or if
Maybe
they're.
they'll have cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So it'll be interesting to tune in. There's probably a news out there about it. I just didn't look into that. I looked into the nominees, though, and that's what I want to talk about because this is exciting. There's some pretty cool stuff. So let's start with the big ones, all right? Big picture drama is basically a couple of movies I've never heard of, and then, which is not unusual because I don't watch a lot of dramas. It's not really my gig.
Well, what's funny is
The Father, I'm going to go ahead and read them, and then
go ahead.
So The Father, which is one of them, Mank, which is Gary Oldman, is Mankiewicz.
yes,
Nomad Land, which is Frances McDormand. Promising Young Woman,
oh, that's with Carrie. What's her name? Carrie Mulligan.
yes. And The Trial of the Chicago 7, which was
Which
a Netflix production.
I've heard excellent things about the Chicago 7 one.
Yeah.
Nomad Land, I swear, I just saw ads just in the past couple of weeks.
If you have Hulu, you can watch it on Hulu now. And this is why this is important because this is the first year I think we might even have a chance to watch all the Best Picture nominees before they come out.
Right,
Like
because-
they're actually going to be streaming somewhere. You may actually get a chance to see them all. I don't usually do that. But this year, like you can go to Netflix right now and watch Trial of Chicago 7. You can go to Hulu and watch Nomadland. Some of these others are available on demand, but you got to pay the like $20 rental fee or whatever. Yeah. But by the Oscars, maybe that will change. But so I don't know what to pick there. I haven't seen any of those.
Let's see.
There's a lot of buzz about Trial of Chicago 7. That's all I know.
Yeah, that and Nomad Land are the two buzzworthy ones I've heard. Just because
Same.
I've heard that Frances McDormand's performance in Nomad Land is pretty
I
fantastic.
I only finally saw the trailer for Promising Young Woman last week, and boy, it looks kind of interesting though.
I'm trying to think.
The plot of that is she's like, yeah, well, I don't want to give. Just go look at the trailer. I'm going to put it in the show notes.
It looks like a great movie.
Yeah. Have you seen any? Have you guys seen any of these?
I have not.
All right, let's move on then. Best Picture in Musical Comedy. Maybe you've seen one. I know you guys have seen at least one of these. So, Best Picture in Musical Comedy. Again, this is one of the cool things that the Golden Globes do that the Oscars don't, is divide things into comedies. And I guess musicals count as comedy, like they put them together for some reason. But Borat's subsequent movie film.
Still haven't seen that.
Which I think is just the most hilarious title.
I love
subsequent movie film. Like you hear it in his voice. I can't do his voice, but you can hear it in his voice.
Yeah, I want to
subsequent movie film. I saw it. It was actually pretty funny. Was it funny. Yeah, I wasn't as offended by it as I was the first one.
The first
it
one
was
really,
less offensive this time, but still offensive. Don't get me wrong; it's definitely offensive. But if the first one really, really offended you, this one's a little tamer. I don't know if he's just getting older and more mature, and maybe not as bad. But some of it was actually pretty funny. Like I thought it was pretty funny. I was super uncomfortable. Some of you guys have read the news about the Rudy Giuliani piece at the end.
Yeah, the hotel.
That felt wrong. If it was definitely a gotcha thing. I don't think, after watching it, I don't think what you think was going to happen was what Rudy thought was going to happen. I almost, even though I'm not a big fan of that guy, I almost believe his stupid story but at the same time, it's so creepy. It's very unnerving to watch that whole scene.
And even just and I've seen the clip. Mm-hmm. No matter what people say about, the actual thing that people are talking about, the build up to it and the events leading up to it should have never happened anyway.
Oh, it was very strange.
So it was questionable from the get go. It was just a matter of anyway.
I haven't seen this, so I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Right. Well, we can talk about offline. But so Borat is one of the best musical comedy. Music, which is a film by Sia, which is kind of interesting.
Is that the one about
Leslie Odom Jr. is in it. Maddie Ziegler, because it can't be a Sia thing without Maddie Ziegler, the dancer who's in all of her videos.
Right.
I have no idea what that's about. I haven't seen it. The Prom, which is a Broadway show that was turned into a Netflix film.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Did you see the Broadway show? Have you guys seen it?
I've never seen the Broadway show, but we do have the soundtrack, and we've listened to the original Broadway cast recording. I think I would like it better if I saw it on stage.
Yeah. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I love the Broadway stuff, so I like to see it.
The movie was okay. They added a little twist, a little backstory to one of the characters that I don't know was necessary, but I mean it was entertaining. Yeah, I don't know, Matt. I think it was Sia, because it was not a mountain with stuff.
That's a game night reference. That's a deep dive for people who don't watch game night. They have no idea what you're talking about right now. So we don't want to throw people off. But Matt is in there. So I saw you just said he's in the Matt, you're throwing our show by bringing that up because now we have that's 2 weeks ago. Let it go. I'm kidding. That's an inside joke. You got to watch our game night. But that was a good chance for me. It was a good chance for me to bring it up and throw it out there. So it was Sia. And it's SIA, not CIA. I don't know where your spelling is there, Matt.
CIA is different. CIA is
so the other two musical comedies, Palm Springs, which is Andy Samberg.
I've heard that was really good.
It's basically like a Groundhog Day type of thing, but he's stuck there with a girl.
Somebody else,
like they're both going through it. And that seems to be a trend because there's another movie on Amazon Prime, something like All the Little Things or something like that is very similar. There's a girl, it's a romantic comedy. They're just Groundhog Day ripoffs.
Yeah, there's another one called Boss Level with Frank Grillo, who played Crossbones.
Yes. Oh, you're right. So apparently Groundhog Day is back as a trend.
It's a thing.
And they're doing
Bill Murray in a cameo in every single one of them.
Right? It would be so much better. But anyway, it looks really funny. I'm sorry. The trailers look hilarious. So
yeah.
That has a good shot. And then, of course, Hamilton, which...
What?
Hamilton is winning everything as far as I'm concerned. Like if it's in a category, it automatically wins. So, but it's weird to put Hamilton up against Palm Springs, right? Or Borat, right?
Well,
because one's a musical, one's a comedy. But that's why this category is so weird, right?
Well, it is
Hamilton versus Borat is just not. That doesn't even make sense.
Do you remember the year that The Martian was in this category?
He Why? Because
why
he says a couple funny things.
Because it's funny.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was.
But
it was
they
weird.
the companies put they want to get a better chance to win. It's up against stiff competition in the drama, so they submit it as a comedy.
Gotcha.
They submit it as a comedy. Yeah,
Well,
that's
it worked. They won.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so weird.
Still funny.
All right, let's get into the so motion picture dramas and comedies and whatnot. Let's talk about the actors and actresses. Let's start with Best Actress Motion Picture Drama. We got Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand, Nomad Land, Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman.
That sounds like a tough. That is
a huge.
decision.
This is a huge category. Frances McDormand is a legend, right? Like she's so great, but she also wins a lot of times because she's so great. But if you've seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Viola Davis is like really
phenomenal.
good in that. Yeah. I didn't even realize it was her at first.
Wow.
She's so like kind of like just like into this character. I had to take a second to figure out, is that Viola? It is Viola Davis, and she's so good.
I've heard. I think
she's
Ma Rainey's
got my
Black
vote
Bottom.
because that's the one movie of those that I saw.
Well, that makes sense.
And she's great. She's so great.
Ma Rainey's gonna get a couple of awards. I mean, foreshadowing, Chadwick Boseman is also nominated posthumously. So, yeah, I don't know. All of these people have great work, but yeah, I don't know. I would say Viola Davis probably just because of your recommendation.
Yeah. Again, I haven't seen the other ones, so no offense to them, but that's where I'm going. Best actor, as you said, Chadwick Boseman is up there. To me, he gets it. He's so good in that movie, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And I think I think it's like there's also that factor that he's
the fact
gone.
that it's posthumous,
and you want, and you just want to honor him. But he actually, he does deserve it. I'm not just saying, he deserves it because he's, being honored that way. But he was very good. But so did some of these other guys. Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, which I really want to see, really bad.
I'm interested in seeing that one.
Anthony Hopkins in The Father, Gary Oldman as Mank, and Tahar Rahim in The Mauritanian. So I haven't heard of that. Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins have won these things before. Riz Ahmed does look really good in Sound of Metal, but at the end of the day, I got to go with Chadwick Boseman. I think he's winning this.
I think Chadwick's going to get it. Well deserved, but also as a posthumous honor.
I think that's a shoe-in for him.
I feel like if he won, there would be a lot of tears in the audience.
Yeah. So the motion picture musical comedy actresses, we've got Maria Bakalova, who played
she plays the daughter of
Borat's daughter, and she's so good. She's so great. Oh yes, she's so funny. She's really funnier than him. Like she's the funnier role, I feel like, in the whole movie. She ends up kind of stealing it. Kate Hudson in music, which was the Sia, not CeeLo movie. Michelle Pfeiffer in French Exit. Rosamund Pike, I Care a Lot.
Oh,
that's the name of her movie. I don't care that much about Rosamund Pike. I mean, she's great. I like her as an actress.
I thought you were singing a song.
And Anna Taylor-Joy in Emma with a period. Like there's a period at the end of it. Is that how the title is? Emma? It's just Emma. Period.
That must not. Well, then that must not be the Pride and Prejudice Emma, right?
I don't know, or the Jane Austen.
Wait, Anya Taylor-Joy. She was in that chess. She was in that chess show. Something Gambit.
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. Thank you.
I loved that. It was so good.
So I haven't seen any of these.
Me neither, except for Borat.
Except for I Care a Lot and Rosamund Pike. She does a great job at being the person you just hate because she's just so awful of a person. So she does a great job, but also compared to some of these other performances, I don't know if it's good enough to win because I feel like it's kind of easy and more fun to play the person that the audience is supposed to hate.
Right.
So.
Yeah. No idea who's going to win in those.
No clue.
Again, but I just thought Maria Bakalova was really funny. So best actor in a motion picture comedy, Sacha Baron Cohen, kind of obviously for Borat, James Corden for The Prom. Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton, who, again, I
think he should
gravitate. Dev Patel, Personal History of David Copperfield. I want to see that.
Does he play David Copperfield?
I can't figure out what it's about, but I can't wait to see it. And I like him. I think he's a fantastic actor, so I would love to see that. And then Andy Samberg from Palm Springs. So that's another like interesting category right there. Like, I don't know with those guys. Like, they're all pretty funny guys. I don't think it goes to James Corden. I don't think the Prom's going to win much. I think it's going up against too big of competition. It came out at a weird time.
Yeah, I don't think it's good enough.
And I just, and as much as I love James Corden, I don't think it's him. Lin-Manuel, again, the Hamilton mania, I think, is starting to die down.
Right.
So we'll see. But yeah, some strong nominees there. So let's get to the Best Supporting Actress Motion Picture. Actually, let's not. I'm gonna read them off because we don't have a whole lot of time, and I do want to get to the TV shows.
Okay.
And so supporting will take quite a while. But just so that you know, there's people like Glenn Close in there, Jodie Foster we mentioned earlier, but it's not for Silence of the Lambs. Sacha Baron Cohen is nominated again, this time for Trial of the Chicago 7.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. Jared Leto for The Little Things, which just came out on HBO. I want to see that. Daniel Kaluuya as Fred Hampton and Judas and the Black Messiah. Excellent movie.
Such a great movie.
But why? I mean, he's Best Supporting Actor, I guess, because Lakeith Stanfield is
technically the lead.
Yeah, he's technically the lead, but it's clearly like mostly about Fred Hampton, and just it's such a great movie, and he's excellent in it. So I think he's going to win. But you still have also Bill Murray, and then Leslie Odom Jr. from One Night in Miami, which is also really good, and he plays singer. Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking.
He plays a singer.
So it's Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Jim Brown. Oh, why am I blanking on his name in the movie? We'll figure it out. We'll go back to it. If somebody's in the chat and can say it, that would be awesome, because I am totally forgetting. He plays the famous singer whose name is, I can't remember. Darn it. Okay, so we're moving on. Best Director, it's going to, you've got, again,
Sam Cooke,
Promising Young Woman, Mank, Trial of Chicago 7, Nomad Land. Those are all the directors. Aaron Sorkin is Trial of the Chicago 7. He feels like he wins, or it seems like he gets a lot of those. I just heard a noise. Did somebody comment?
Sam Cooke.
No. Oh, Sam Cooke. There we go. That was who it was. Regina King, I didn't realize, directed One Night in Miami. That's awesome. It'd be awesome to see her win, because that's really good. But as we go through these, I'm trying to get to the TV actors in my list here. Sorry, guys. Best Drama Series is The Crown, Lovecraft Country, The Mandalorian, Ozark, and Ratched. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, Ratched doesn't even belong in this category. I haven't seen it, but I just even from the trailer, like the three in the middle I just said, Lovecraft Country, Mandalorian, and Ozark,
those
are three of the greatest television shows that are going on right now.
Yes.
And if you're not watching Ozark, Ozark might be one of the least known. If you're not watching Ozark, it is phenomenal.
It's like Breaking Bad good.
Yeah, it's kind of a. I mean,
it's the same thing.
It's a similar story, but it's so good. Yeah. Obviously, we're partial to Mandalorian in this group. The two of us being Star Wars, but dang, was Lovecraft Country really good?
Lovecraft Country was outstanding.
So I feel like Lovecraft Country's got to take this.
I would.
That's my pick.
I would love to see Lovecraft Country win. But of course, I won't be upset if Mandalorian or Ozark wins. All
right, and we only got 2 minutes before the Golden Globes. So last category that we're going to talk about tonight is Best Musical Comedy Series, and that would be The Flight Attendant, which is on HBO Max, Kaylee Cuoco new show, The Great, that's on Hulu, about Catherine the Great, I believe. I don't know. Schitt's Creek, which is phenomenal.
So good.
Emily in Paris, which I haven't seen. And then to me, the surprise hit of 2020, Ted Lasso on Apple TV. That show is way better than you'd think it has any right to be. Like, it came into early 2020 when we'd started this pandemic and became my favorite new show of the year. Wow. It's my favorite new show of the year. It just is. It's so like heartfelt, but yet still a little bit like it's kind of like Schitt's Creek. Like it's like that edge of that hard, because they drop F-bombs and there's things like that, but it's still like this good-hearted, just good show. And there's like, we need shows to make us feel good in 2020. And Ted Lasso is that show. So that's the one that wins in my, yes.
Jason Sudeikis, who always plays that type of kind of like, I feel wholesome kind of roles. And he plays that coach that goes from football to football. Yes.
So he goes from American football to coaching soccer, which we call it here, but football in the UK. He's coaching it over in the UK. And it was based on a goofy advertisement that they made back when the NBC got the Premier League. That was really? 5 years ago, I think.
Well, that's hilarious.
And they brought it back. They're like, why don't we make this a show? And dang, it's good. So if you're not watching Ted Lasso, we will definitely be back on Thursday with our game night. So join us then. And until then, let's go watch the Golden Globes night. Let's see if any of us were right about who we picked. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
We got to dance it out. He's not dancing. Goodbye, everybody.